Roland, I mean, I love Vaughn Hilliard, and I don't like to put him in an uncomfortable position. But in 2018, reporting on this runoff election in Mississippi, there's no comfortable conversation.
Well, first of all, as reporters, our job is to actually report on what is reality. And so, frankly, we shouldn't be saying it is uncomfortable. It is a reality. I was in Mississippi Sunday, came back on Wednesday, and the reality is there's no other state in America where you have such a stark contrast between white and black. Anybody who saw the debate Tuesday night between Mike Espy and Cindy Hyde-Smith, first of all, she pretty much read from this huge stack of notes. She could barely even say her name without reading it. And so all she kept saying was Second Amendment, Mississippi conservative values, Donald Trump. That's all she was saying, but she wasn't addressing the actual issues. Health care is an issue. But see, this goes beyond just the issue also of race. It's also, frankly, Allie, Democrats have got to stop being scared of white people. Let me be real clear. Let me say this again. Democrats have got to stop being scared of white people in southern states. Democrats go, oh, my God, well, you know, we can't win Alabama or Mississippi. But they have to be frank with white people. They have to say to Mississippi, there are 300,000 people in Mississippi who do not have health care. And so Mike Espy is hitting her hard on pre-existing conditions, the Affordable Care Act. And so Democrats always want to only focus on, well, if we can get some young voters and some progressive voters. No, you have to tell broke white people you're broke. And so if you guys want to keep voting for your guns, go right ahead, but your health care is jacked up. Your education is jacked up. Your economics are jacked up. And so I really hope that Democrats get the message that they have to go into the South and go into these poor areas and not just talk to black voters, but talk frank to white voters and say, when are you going to vote your economic interest?
Right. So Donald Trump made this argument to black voters in 2016, not with remarkable success, but he kept on saying, hey, you keep voting for Democrats, you're not getting enough out of it. You're saying Democrats have to go to white voters, particularly poorer white voters, and say, you keep voting for Republicans, you're not getting enough out of this.
Yes, absolutely. And first of all, Donald Trump kept saying that, but Donald Trump won't go talk in front of a group of black people. He won't meet with the black media. He won't sit down with the black people. And so, sure, he might sit with a handful of pastors here, but I'm talking about real substantive conversations. And so Donald Trump will not do that. And so, frankly, that's a farce when he throws out, you know, what the hell do you have to lose? The reality is, there's a whole lot you have to lose when you look at what his agenda is. But again, when you talk about Mississippi, the reality is Mike Espy can win in Mississippi.
Okay, tell me how. Tell me how, because you heard...
Here's first. In the general election, there were 944,000 people who voted in the general election for Espy, Cindy Hyde-Smith, and McDaniel, who's a third-party candidate. And so you're going to have a huge drop-off. If Mike Espy is able to get anywhere from 450,000 to 500,000 votes, he can actually win. African-American turnout. African-Americans are 40% of all Mississippi voters. That means that the black turnout is around 90, 95%. Yeah, if he gets 25% of the white vote, he can do it.
Let me ask you something. It did work in Alabama for Doug Jones.
Barely. Because of Roy Moore.
Because of the character that Roy Moore was, which was highly distasteful, and the fact that black voters did go out and support Doug Jones. But Doug Jones had a lot of white voter support.
Yes,
Can that
absolutely.
happen? Let's be completely... We're talking frankly today, you and me. Can Mike Espy get enough of the white vote in Mississippi, or is Mississippi not geared up to vote for a black Senate candidate? Is white Mississippi not geared up for that?
First of all, Mike Espy can. Is it going to be hard? Yes, which is why and what he has been doing. What he has been doing and going across the state, he's been hammering Cindy Hyde-Smith on health care because how Mississippians are impacted by that. There are 1.5 million poor people in Mississippi. You have poor children, poor white women, poor white men. And so what Espy has been talking about is economics, is health care. And so he is trying to reach them through their pocketbook. The difference is here. White broke Republicans, as Howard Dean said in 2004, focus on God, gays, and guns. Well, here's the piece. You can vote on God, gays, and guns if you're poor and broke in Mississippi, but you know what? When you don't have a rural hospital, you please tell me how your gun is going to help you. If you do not have the ability to get health care, how are you not liking gays is going to help you? But see, again, Democrats have to be willing to go into rural Mississippi and literally look white, poor people in the eye and say, let me ask you a question. How has it been voting for Republicans in this state? How has it actually helped you get out of poverty? Answer the question. And so if Republicans want to keep throwing it in front of black folks' face when it comes to big cities, I dare say Democrats should go into Georgia, Tennessee, Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, go into Louisiana, go into those states and look at broke white folks and say, what are you going to do? You're still broke. You still have bad education. You still have bad health care. What the hell do you have to lose?
Roland Martin, I appreciate you joining me on this Black Friday. I guess if you could just bring a little more energy next time you join me on TV.
Well, you know, again, when you spent time in the land of Medgar Evers and Fannie Lou Hamer, you do come back
as well. You should be
focused when it comes to voting, especially for anybody. So Mississippi, go vote.
You and I have been friends for a long time, and I know this is your passion. People going out and voting in their own interest. So I appreciate that. Roland Martin,
sir, appreciate it.
Is the host of Roland Martin Unfiltered. What an unusual name for a show by Roland.